Welcome to the Traitors Online.
It's the ultimate game of trust and deception.
Over the next few weeks, 20 players from all across the UK are going to battle it out to become the ultimate winners of this competition.
To hopefully win this incredible game.
At night, the traitors will murder the faithfuls. It's the faithfuls' job to find out who the traitors are. Get them before they get you.
At the end of the game, if any traitors are left, they win it all.
Welcome to the Traitors. And we are live. Hello everybody, I am an artist's impression of Kyle, and welcome to the Traitors After Dark, episode 6. We're halfway through the competition. Now tonight I'm going to channel my inner Claudia Winkleman with some over-the-top accessories. So, what do you think of those? I look stylish. Now, before we discuss episode 6, I'm going to take your mind back to last night's episode where Rhiannon was murdered. Let's just have a quick little recap of her death.
Was Rhiannon not in?
Rhiannon has been murdered.
What?
What the hell? Why?
Gosh, why? Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't expect that.
What about if we got rid of Rhiannon? That would make Diana a bit more in the spotlight, because obviously she was saying that she thought it was her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. As
Yeah,
in, I don't know any.
No, that's fair enough, mate. Yeah, but Diana's came up quite a few things today, and I think that we could add that on to say, well, now Rhiannon's gone. She said it was one of 3, and obviously, like, now Rhiannon's gone, so that's all a bit weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah, it's in. Yeah.
So, just to confirm, who are we murdering?
Rhiannon.
Rhiannon. Okay, so
Your
As
face,
per-
Dave. Which feels horrible, but it feels so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some news, unfortunately, from the traitors.
Okay.
Oh,
1 second, let me.
but alright.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
So, unfortunately, you have been murdered, and you will be leaving the game.
No way.
Oh, she was lovely.
And there was a
Okay, yeah.
recap at Rhiannon's murder. Now, joining me live tonight, we have a very special guest. Please welcome Rhiannon herself. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Hi.
So, obviously your murder was last night. How did that feel to leave the game?
I was actually at the time I kind of expected to go. So when you kind of came to deliver the news, I kind of expected it. But watching it back, it was a bit sad, and I thought, and then I heard some, it was quite insightful to see sort of why, the decision was made. And I understood it completely. I was completely on board with, like the decision, like I understood completely, but it was a bit of a shame because I wanted to stay in longer because he had a lot more to say, and I just started to get ideas in my head and things that I wanted to say. So I was a bit gutted because I thought, like, I finally had my time to speak, and I've already been, now I can't say anything. But it was interesting though, and it was, but I completely understood it, and it was fine. It's part of the game.
Yeah, I think getting murdered, it's hard, isn't it? Because you kind of just like suddenly snapped out of it when you've just got so much more to give to the competition. But I guess that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, in your time, you saw out Dan as a traitor. How did it feel to kind of banish a traitor first go?
I think it was really good, and I think it was so nice because everybody was everybody seemed to be sort of pretty much everybody was in tune with each other, and I think it just really brought a lot of positivity straight away into the game. Everyone was sort of like, you know, feeling really happy about it, and we just really picked up on something, you know, someone straight away, and it was a really great feeling. And I just had this gut instinct from the start, and I always go with my gut, and I was just really proud that, like, what I'd been thinking, other people were thinking, and then we'd all got it right, and it was a nice little celebration for us all. So it was a lovely start to the game, to be fair.
Yeah. Obviously after that, you kind of hit a slum as a group. You lost a lot of faithfuls. How does it feel whenever you get back on your own?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
So I said, after that you lost a lot of faithfuls. How does it feel to get rid of one of your own every day?
I think, yeah, that was a shame, and I think obviously it's frustrating because I think the Traitors were playing such a good game, and it was so easy to just believe that everybody was faithful. There was no one really sticking out particularly. You know, you had to nitpick on the littlest of things, and so it's frustrating because, you know, you think you've clung on to some little thing, and everybody's sort of, you know, but I think the faithfuls themselves just we weren't all on the same wavelength. Everybody had different ideas, and I don't think we were all coming together in the same way. So unfortunately, I think that's sort of what happened. But it was quite sad, and it was quite frustrating because obviously you're looking at everybody around that, you know, round table, and you're thinking some of you are traitors and you're playing it so well, and you really you know, you really want them to you want something to jump out about them, but they were playing a really good game.
Yeah. So my final question to you then really is, despite all the twists, despite all the turns, are you glad that you've taken part?
Oh yeah, I absolutely loved it. And I loved meeting everyone. And I think you've done you did an amazing job. The way you've just done the whole thing anyway, but the way you put it all together, and it was so much fun. And like I say, I suffer really badly with anxiety, so
Yeah.
to be able to meet with lots of people like I did, and be able to just sort of get on well with them all, and just find myself, you know, comfortable and just having fun. It was a really good experience, and I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it.
Lovely. Thank you so much for popping on. It's been lovely to talk to you again, and I will see you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. There we go. Lovely chat there with Rhiannon. Now we will get on to talking about episode 6. But first, here's a little recap of what went down in last episode.
If Diana points the finger at us, it's more strong finger than it is Catherine, because...
Oh no!
Really hard. I think it gets easier.
I'm EJ and I'm faithful.
Debbie?
I'm Debbie and I'm a faithful. Faithful.
Okay, so Mark, you have won. Your death has just come knocking. You will be leaving the game immediately.
Well, I am a faithful. You've got to stop this herd mentality. It's the 3 times now. Everyone's voting for the same person.
Who you think is the weakest link?
I believe EJ is the weakest link.
The only logical choice for me to go with is EJ.
I think EJ is the weakest link.
I would have to go Dougie.
I'm not going to reveal who that is or what happened. Wow, what an episode. Loads of twists and loads of turns. Now, one of the first people to go today's episode was my microphone went there for a second. Apologies, everybody. But yes, Sandra was one of the first people to go. Let's have a teeny quick look at her banishment.
I am a faithful.
That was such a sad banishment, and Sandra is here with me tonight to have a quick chat. So let's have a chat with Sandra. So, in the game, obviously, as a faithful, it was your job to kind of find the traitors. Who were you most suspicious of?
Ethan. I knew he was a traitor the first minute he opened his mouth on that Zoom call when he was, I can't remember whether he was number 1 or number 2. But the minute he opened his mouth, I knew he was a traitor.
All right.
I learned a lesson.
So I've just got a couple of questions now about kind of some key moments in the game. Firstly, obviously on your first round table, you guys got Dan out straight away. So how did it feel to kind of get a traitor out first to go?
Again, I think we all knew he was a traitor. So I think in a way, the faithful thought, oh, this is easy. Because he was so obvious. So we were all elated, yeah, this is going to be easy. And the following few round tables, it showed that it wasn't. And it felt a little bit like shooting peas into a barrel and trying to hit just one apple floating around the barrel. It was almost impossible.
Yeah, obviously I was just going to ask about that, because you guys, after getting a traitor out straight away, you guys lost loads and loads of faithfuls through banishment and murder. So how does it feel to kind of lose a couple of your own every single day?
In a way, I mean, we knew we were going to lose one on murder every day. So we knew we were definitely going to lose one. But the problem was nobody was giving any games away. Nobody was changing their Facebook profile. Nobody was saying anything. The chatter in the main group was very difficult to follow.
So obviously, a few days in, we had 2 new people join us. How did it feel to kind of have 2 brand new faces, and how did that change the dynamic of the group?
It changed it dramatically. I think Chloe fitted in immediately.
Yeah.
As I said, I had a problem with Ethan because I knew he was a traitor. He rubbed me up the wrong way. Day one. Somebody put him into our alliance group, and before he landed, they told me they were going to do it. And before he landed, I said, you do know he's probably a traitor. Oh, no, he's a nice guy. And I thought, okay, I give in, I shut up, I go away. Nobody's listening to me. Yeah. He's a traitor. I'm just going to sit here.
Obviously, you do now know that he is a traitor.
Yeah.
You feel a sort of layer of satisfaction finding out that you were right all along.
No satisfaction, just realizing, yeah, okay, I was right. Nobody listened to me. I very nearly gave them a parting shot when they banished me. I did vote for Ethan, and I very nearly said, this is Aaron's gift to the group, because I knew he was a traitor.
Okay. All right. So my final question then is, despite all the twists and turns, are you glad that you took part?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, I'm just sad I wasn't around for that long, but I think it demands a certain person who can actually be glued to their phone 24/7.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually still playing the game. I've got a little spreadsheet, and every day I look down it, and I'd like watching the television. I'd like to see a bit more. I'd like to hear a bit more of what's going on, just because academically I want to sit here and play Miss Marple.
All right. That's about it then. Thank you so much for your time this evening. It's been lovely to see you again. And a lovely chat with Sandra there now. Let's have a quick little look at Diana, because unfortunately she met her maker in the last episode.
Where are we all?
You're the last.
You're the last. Diana's gone.
I was saying panicking there.
Oh, Diana.
Diana's been murdered.
Oh my God.
Do we?
Debbie, Dougie, what do you think?
Do we think Diana's going to create the most diversion away from us?
Well,
Or
the
at least
difference is if Diana points the finger at us, it's more a strong finger than it is Catherine, because obviously Sarah and that are saying that Catherine's just not really even believable. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just obviously, I'm throwing it out there. I'm happy to do whatever. You did the best, because I'm only in like 1 or 2.
Yeah. Should we go for Diana then?
Yeah, I think Diana, and then we can do Catherine tomorrow.
I am just going to pop up a little message for you on the screen right now.
Okay, I'm gonna put the glasses on. Oh no! What did I do? Okay, so I'm not in it anymore.
No, unfortunately, you have been murdered by the traitors, and so your time on the game is now over.
Okay.
He was on my list.
It's on your what, sorry?
He was on my, like, maybe she was a traitor list, but obviously she's not.
And there was a little look at Diana's murder, and we are lucky enough to have Diana joining us right now live on.
I'm fine. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on.
How did it feel to be murdered? Sorry.
I was devastated. I can't tell you how sad I was. I was so enjoying being part of it. And while I didn't think I would get to the end, I had hope that I would be there a bit longer. It became something part of my life every evening to join this game online, and then it was gone and it was taken away from me. And I had nothing to do, and I was wondering what was going on, and it was just I really missed it, I must say. I missed it for a couple of weeks. Yes.
Yeah, I think though, one thing that I think is really good for you is that they murdered you because they felt that you were a threat, and I think the fact that you were such a good player really kind of showcases your talent in this game, because you were really good at it.
Well, I don't know, because I think one of my criticisms was that I was making notes, and it was only because I just wanted to remember what everyone was saying, and why I was murdered I can't quite understand, because I picked Ethan and I picked Chloe on the night before. I was talking about them being the newbies, as it were, and I would have thought by murdering me it draws the attention towards Chloe or Ethan. So I didn't actually understand the logic as to why I went when I did.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a valid point. I think there's also a little element of kind of just I think they sometimes they kind of struggled with who to murder as well. I think sometimes it was just a case of picking names out of a hat. Obviously, you guys got out a traitor first go in Dan. Were you kind of shocked that he was a traitor?
No, not at all. I think it was unanimous.
Yeah.
He didn't play the game too well, and as I said on the show, he kept saying, "I'm 100% faithful, 100% faithful," and that's I thought, why does he keep saying this? I hadn't said that once, and lots of people hadn't, and that's what drew my attention to him. That he's obviously lying, which he was. So I wasn't surprised at all.
No, I think he gave the game away. Really, I think he did.
Yeah.
Kind of throughout your time in the game, then, other than EJ and Chloe, was there anybody else that you were really suspecting?
Well, initially, on the first day, Mike got in touch with me and wanted to form an alliance and was consulting me every night what he thought. And I actually suspected him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was wrong, but I did suspect him. And as I said, I had my eyes on Ethan and Chloe.
Yeah. I think I kind of I was remembering that alliance quite well, and I think he kind of was quite full on. I think you could definitely have mistaken that for him being a traitor. Then a few rounds in, we had EJ and Chloe join. Obviously, you've spoken about your suspicions, but the whole Marissa debacle, where she kind of she didn't really bring up the fact that she was Chloe's mother. Do you think that kind of piqued your suspicions further?
Yes, because then when I said Chloe, and as I said to you earlier, I haven't seen the whole of tonight's episode, so I don't know what happened regarding Chloe. But it seems that not many people followed my thought process there, and didn't go for Chloe, which surprised me.
And then my final question really is, despite all the twists, all the turns, are you glad that you've taken part?
Oh, very much. I've absolutely loved it, and thank you for organising this. I know it's been a huge amount of work, and if ever in the future you're thinking of doing something similar, I was thinking maybe annually, because you don't want to do it too often.
No.
People get bored and we've got other things going on in our lives. But once a year, maybe the beginning of the year in January when it's a bit cold and dark, we've just got over Christmas, it'd be nice to do this again. And if so, I would love to take part if you'll have me.
Yeah, I think a reunion definitely needs to be on the cards. But anyway, thank you so much for popping on. It's been lovely to talk to you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you soon. All the best.
Thank you. I'll keep
Bye.
following. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.
Now, Mark faced banishment after that cruel twist of fate. Let's have a quick look at how that went down. What the name of this evening was?
Oh God, I didn't really look at it. Something about death.
Correct. Something.
Oh no.
About death.
Right.
Well, death has just come knocking at your door. You will be leaving the game immediately.
Oh. You probably have all guessed. And Lisa, I tried to tell you so many times, but I am a faithful. All right. Good night, everyone.
Oh, bye,
Mark.
I see you go, mate.
Yeah. Take care.
Okay. So Mark has left the game as a faithful. The night of death is young. And somebody. And we are back. I am loving the comments about my wonderful ears in the comments. I thought I'd vibe, and kind of channel my inner Claudia Winkleman with the strange style. And I hope you've noticed that they've changed between every clip. Now, Mark was banished in that cruel twist of fate. Unfortunately, he couldn't be on here tonight, but he did film an interview with me earlier, so let's have a quick little look at that.
I can, I'll spot them.
Okay, so during your time in the game then, who were you most suspicious of?
Straight from the off, it was Mike, because from the very start, all these alliances started, and he was a very, very strong personality from the start, and I called him out straight away on the first night, I think, which he didn't like. And I saw his reaction to that. I thought, there's something there. So I've suspected the altercation between him and Dan was a little bit of a charade, in that I suspect that Dan was found out and that Mike had no alternative but to turn on him, and that's why it got so heated. But I was suspicious of that, and then later in the game when it all changed, I was just suspicious of those people that would call out other things. So Debbie called out this, the new people must be, one of us must be a traitor, which I thought was an odd gambit. So I'm kicking myself because I didn't push that, and obviously I left before I had a chance to kind of push it. But she pushed that twice. She pushed it with myself, Lisa, and who else joined late? I can't think who it was now. Was it Dougie? And then she pushed it again with EJ and Chloe when they joined late as well. And I thought, right, this is something not right about that behaviour. So yeah, those two I was suspicious of. Suspicious of Lisa, but then I think everyone's suspicious of Lisa. I think she's just a very good player.
Yeah.
I think she's just but yeah, those are my main suspicions.
Okay, so obviously the first night you guys got a traitor straight away. How did it feel to get one out so soon?
Yeah, well, mixed emotions really, because I didn't vote for Dan. I had his name written down even before you started going round, and I was ready to show it. And then the revelation that Mike had joined 2 alliances, and I could see everybody else was going for Dan. So I always said I was never going to be in this herd. And I think if you watch my votes, I think I got it wrong with Tracy, but all the other votes I did were for who I genuinely felt. And I think that made me look a bit suspicious, but ultimately I wanted to see people under pressure. So whilst everyone voted for Dan and got him out, it was great. my vote was not for Dan, and I knew somebody would come back and say, well, you're a traitor because trading it together and not vote it, but it never gathered pace, that one, thank goodness.
No. Okay, so a couple of rounds in, then we had 2 brand new people join us. How did it feel to kind of have new blood, and did that change the dynamic?
Yeah, obviously I know because we joined kind of the last minute as well. So yeah, I was always sympathetic to them being accused. Chloe and Marissa, the relationship, I never bought that there was anything duplicitous going on there. I think people got sucked in again by the traitors. EJ, when he did when he played the Sandra voice note, that was very rehearsed, and again I nearly wrote his name down.
So obviously you left the game day 6 in quite a cruel twist of fate.
Yeah, thanks for that.
How did it feel to leave the game so suddenly?
Well, obviously was not expecting it. It wasn't a banishment. It was a game where we were asked to choose a number. One number was safe, one number wasn't, and then the last person standing was eliminated. It was Night of Deaths, which I suppose I should have seen coming, but I don't know. It was it was really unfair because I was I was getting into it, and actually I had Debbie's name to go the next night, and I was going to put that out there next time, and I just never got to do that. But I was pleased the way I played. I'm not coming out of it going, I wasn't a sheep. I didn't get led. I was happy with. Happy what there, and obviously I'd like to have stayed and done a few more rounds and put some more traitors, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, really unfair, man.
So I mean, how does it feel now being out of the game?
Honestly, a relief. I think there are lots of people obviously which are taking this very seriously, and I think that sometimes can overload us. And I think initially that chat was very hard at first. I didn't realize it was going to be obviously as intense as it was. And you do forge relationships with people. We've had a good laugh. So it's been difficult. It's been difficult to leave, but also a relief to leave as well. And I know that I can, I'm not worrying every night whether, I've got to go and defend myself against something which I'm not guilty of. So, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone turns on each other towards the end. But no, good luck to everyone who's left, and I'll be interested to see who wins.
Lovely. All right, thank you so much for taking the time out to come and pop on and talk to me.
No problem, Kyle.
Lovely seeing you again, and hopefully we will speak soon. I'm just gonna 5, yeah. All right. Thank you so much for popping on. Bye.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
Bye. And there was a little chat with Mark. Now I've had to lose the Mickey ears because I've run out of my little homemade pears, and I've ended up with these. Now, one final twist tonight was that the traitors were going to have to backstab each other. Let's have another look at that moment in action.
Yeah. It is a game, ultimately. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
So, Ethan, as you just said, you're all going to have something thrown at you at some point.
Oh,
so far.
Right.
What's happening here?
So far, the night of murders has been very, very tough for the faithful. Well, it's about to get tough for the traitors. Now, so far, you have all been working as a team. You have all demonstrated good teamwork. You have all saved each other's backs. You have always been looking out for each other. But you are traitors. And after betraying the faithful for a while, it's now time for you to betray one of your own. In a second, who you believe is the weakest link out of the 4 of you. I'm not going to reveal who that is or what happened until the start of
Thursdays.
meeting.
Oh my God!
However, This is the traitors. And whichever traitor has the most votes will not be going down without a fight. Oh, I've officially run out of ears and I'm now wearing a Santa hat. Merry Christmas, everybody. Now, we're halfway through the competition, but that doesn't mean it's getting any less fierce. Let's take a little look at what is coming up next week.
Next time.
You received the most votes.
Yeah.
I was suspicious of Lisa.
Yeah, if you vote me out, trust me, you will regret your decision.
And after a meeting full of backstabbery, treachery, and betrayal, there's an emoji.
Is that a mermaid?
Yes, it's a mermaid.
Debbie, you are a faithful, and actually, Mike, you're the one that is feeding the fire.
The murder, I want you to pre-select the victim tonight. However, tomorrow, I want you to murder in plain sight.
I think we should come up with a bit of a plan. But I've just got a feeling that Debbie and Dougie have been scheming against her. So I think also for the team's benefit, we need to get a traitor out next.
Oh, something's going down there with EJ and David. You'll have to wait and tune in next week. Speaking of next week. Speaking of next week, next episode is out Tuesday, followed by an After Dark. Straight after, we'll be chatting to the latest competitor to leave the game. I missed it. Hey, hang on. Right. You're not ready for this. Hang on. Right. Just bear with me a second. Bear with me. Oh, hey. Look at that. I've got a line on my head. How cool is that? He's dead. Sorry. Whilst I go and resuscitate him, I'll see you all next week. Alright. Thank you for watching. Wake up. Wake up. Bye. Wake up. He's gone.